Hi, I'm Irene, and my project was understanding why monarch caterpillars choose to eat butternut squash. So most caterpillars are specialized feeders, so they only eat one specific family of plants, and monarchs fall under that in that they only eat milkweed. However, we've found that they also eat butternut squash in artificial settings. If you give them that option, they will choose to take it sometimes. And to investigate this, we did 3 main experiments. First one is survival. So we gave both newly hatched caterpillars and older caterpillars either milkweed, butternut squash, or several other related squashes to see how well they could survive and grow on it. For the younger caterpillars, the ones on milkweed survived to adulthood, obviously. The ones on butternut squash survived significantly longer than all of the other options by like 6 days. But they didn't make it to adulthood. They died before they reached that stage. For the older caterpillars, we were keeping track of how many managed to pupate on their different food sources. And for that one, only the butternut squash ones managed to pupate. 3 out of 10 of them did, but they weren't able to emerge from their pupation successfully, so they didn't actually make it to adulthood. For our second experiment, we tested preference. So we gave newly hatched caterpillars the option between butternut squash and milkweed leaves. And we tested this in both the light and the dark to remove visual cues to see if it made a difference. In the light, the caterpillars chose butternut squash initially, but then they would later switch to milkweed after some time had passed. In the dark, they initially chose milkweed and they stayed on milkweed, but fewer of them made an overall choice. For a third experiment, we made an extract of butternut squash as well as an extract of milkweed, and we painted those extracts onto cabbage leaves to see if we could entice the caterpillars into eating something that they wouldn't normally eat. This didn't work as well as we would have liked, but it did sort of work in that the caterpillars on the milkweed cabbage leaves ate more of their leaves and more of them chose to eat. Whereas on the butternut squash ones, they ate more of their leaves when they were younger, but not so much when they were older. In the future, we want to use the extracts to separate them into the different chemicals so that we can identify which specific chemicals the caterpillars are responding to and figure out what the feeding stimulants of monarch caterpillars are. Yeah, thank you.
So if they prefer the butternut squash over the milkweed, but they don't survive as well on it, do you think there's maybe an evolutionary reason as to why this might occur?
I don't really know. I don't know about an evolutionary reason. It might just be that initially the butternut squash has a stronger scent because of how they were prepared. The leaves were just ripped, so they had open edges, but the butternut squash had to be cut off of the main fruit. So it would have been giving off more chemicals likely initially, and then that would have faded out and they would have figured out that the milkweed was the one that they wanted more. Something like that.
Great, thank you so much.